Game Changers, we are back. NFL divisional predictions for the 2025 season. A lot has already happened this offseason, and then also with preseason just about to wrap up. So it's me and my boy Nick. We're getting back into these NFL videos. If you guys love the NFL and you love Jesus, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to go YouTube full time. That is the goal. But we might be switching to a new YouTube channel. So more information to that. So make sure you hang out and check that out as well. So we're going to go through each division. So first division we're going to get into is the AFC East. For me, my prediction is I got the Bills winning it again. Not much has changed over the past few years. As long as Josh Allen is the quarterback for the Bills, I have them winning unless one of these other teams really make a huge leap, which I don't think any have. The Miami Dolphins might come in last this year. I'm normally high on Tua and the Dolphins, but I think they got worse, and I don't think they got better. Tyreek Hill is aging. I do think Tua plays a little bit better, but Hill's getting older, and again, I don't think they did much as a team, as a unit to get better. I think the Jets take a step forward with Justin Fields. If they go run heavy, I think they're going to be an interesting team, a wild card team in the AFC East. I like their new coach, but if they stick to that run game and tough defense, they're gonna squeak out a lot of wins. I think low scoring game wins. And then actually, I think the second place team in this division is going to be the New England Patriots. Mike Vrabel is a huge step up as a coach. I'm still not a believer in Drake May, but they really built up their defense in the offseason quietly. And I really like some of their draft picks too. Trevion Henderson is no joke. He's the real deal. I think he's going to take over the starting running back position real quick. And we know that Vrabel loves to run the football, so that's where I'm at with that. So Nick, who do you got winning this division?
The Bills. I think that's an easy decision because it's like the only way I can see the Bills not winning it is if Josh Allen gets hurt. Because
100%.
Have you seen what they've been doing lately in the preseason? Yeah. Their backups and third stringers are not good.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
The only way I see the Bills not winning division is something happens to Josh Allen, and then I think the division is up for grabs.
100%. So, all right, we're gonna get into the AFC North. My man Nick is gonna take this one. Go ahead, Nick.
So for this division. There's, I think in the AFC, this is like one of the top divisions, probably next to the AFC West, which we'll talk about later. But there's a lot of teams in this division, like 3 out of the 4, that like have the possibility of taking over, barring obviously some things, some questions, because with the Steelers, they have Aaron Rodgers. How is he going to do with his new team? Their defense is outstanding, so I think it relies on how Aaron Rodgers is going to do with his new team on a 1-year deal. So that'd be interesting. And then with the Bengals, they are like probably the top team on offense, but on defense, they're probably the last team in the NFL, which is like it cancels each other out, which is funny. So it's like that's tough to call. But ultimately, I'm going to say it's I believe the Ravens are going to win the division because they stayed the same on offense. I mean, they did add D-Hop, but I mean, like that's just another weapon for them. I don't think it decreases their team, but they upgraded on defense, not just in the draft, but in the offseason signings too. So I think they got better. And the way I see it right now is I could see the Ravens being number 1 in the AFC. So altogether, in the AFC. So I'm gonna pick the Ravens to win the division.
Awesome. I'm with Nick. He didn't even bring up the Cleveland Browns because we
we
know where the Browns are.
Like the only thing I'll say is, out of the QB circus that they have, which one is obviously we know Joe Flacco's going to start, but what about Shedeur Sanders? What about Dylan Gabriel? What about Kenny Pickett?
Yeah.
And then Deshaun Watson is still on the team too. It's like 2 of those guys are getting cut. That's all I'll say.
Cleveland, listen to me. I'm going to give you the best advice you can get. Start Joe Flacco. I think that's a great start.
Yep.
When you are already losing about Game 5, Game 6, start Shedeur Sanders. He is your best quarterback. He's your best chance. Obviously, we don't know what's going on in the locker room and things of that nature, but it seemed like the team really rallied around him when he started in the preseason. He's probably your most gifted quarterback. You should start him. And cut Kenny Pickett. He is not good. So that's my thing. All right. Baltimore Ravens. I got them winning this division as well. They got better, which is hard to imagine, but they got better. And Lamar Jackson is an MVP caliber. I know he just got hurt, but I think it's just minor, and they're just being precautionary with him as well. And then you got Derrick Henry. As long as they coach them the right way and people make plays and step up in the playoffs, they will be fine. So that's who I got winning that division. All right, next division, AFC South. I almost said the West. I wanted to go to the West, but we're going to the AFC South. This one I think is a pretty obvious one as well. I got the Houston Texans. I think they upgraded as well. They're going to win their division, and I think this might be year 3 in a row.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is going to be the third year in a row. C.J. Stroud's the real deal. Last year, their offensive line was not that good. I don't think it got that much better this year, but overall, they stacked up their team. Their defense still looks incredible. And then, let's see, they stacked up some wide receivers as well in the draft. I don't think they're going to make an immediate impact, but to have that depth is always a good thing, especially last year when Tank Dell went down and then Stephon Diggs shredding his ACL. That obviously does not help. So Joe Mixon's hurt, and we don't know when he's coming back. But overall, I think this team still wins because this division is pretty weak. Tennessee Titans, I like some things about Cam Ward, but I still think they're far away from competing. Jacksonville Jaguars, I like their new coach, but and I think he's revitalized Trevor Lawrence a little bit. I think their offense would be pretty good, but what they did with that trade for Travis Hunter, I just think was a big mistake because they're not even going to compete this year. And they're not going to have a first-round pick next year, which is going to hurt them. And the Colts are just a mess. Daniel Jones starting. Now there's locker room issues. Quentin Nelson already spoke out and said that he wished Anthony Richardson was the starting quarterback. So they're in some trouble as well. So, again, I got Houston Texans. Nick, who do you got?
I think this is a clear choice for this one, too. It's Houston. But what I will say is I think the Jaguars are going to make it interesting. Yeah. I actually think they will because sure, you could say what you want about that Travis Hunter deal, but he definitely upgrades the defense and, the offense. And the offense, yeah. He plays both ways, so we're going to see how he does. But that could also hurt them because the more time he plays on both sides leaves room for more injury. Yeah. So it's something could happen to him. And then Brian Thomas Jr., he was the best rookie last year. So
I love him.
Yeah, it's like he kind of reminds me of like Mike Evans, where like he's just like has that body and he's like super fast and. I think he's going to do good, and plus I think the new coach, Liam Cohen, I think he's going to do good offensively too. And defensively, I'd say they're like mid-tier.
I agree
so
with that.
If there's going to be any competition in that division, I would say the Jaguars. The Colts and the Titans, I think that's just a battle for last place.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. So, some advice to the Jaguars about Travis Hunter too. I liked what they talked about. They said depending on matchups, he might play defense one week and he might play offense the other week. But don't be afraid to. That's my cow in the background. You gotta love it. So farm life. But don't be afraid to on third downs to put in Travis Hunter and goal line plays or red zone plays, I should say, on the offense as well. If you're playing him on the defense one week, or if it's time to shut down somebody in critical moments, to bring him in as well. That's why you picked him up so early in the draft. I think that's key. So. All right, AFC West. Nick gets all the good ones. Nick, go ahead.
Yes, what do you got? I do. This is a really good one, and this one is definitely something where like you can decipher 3 out of the 4 teams, just like the AFC North. The West, it's like the Raiders. I definitely think are going to be last, even though I like what they did in the draft. Like Ashton Genty, I think is going to be the real deal in years to come. Mm-hmm. But the thing though is just overall, they're just like not a team that's going to compete with any of these 3 teams because you look at the teams: the Chiefs, the Broncos, the Chargers. So many great teams out there with on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. With the Chiefs, it's like Mahomes is still Mahomes. Kelsey, it's like I think he's going to be on the decline because it's like he's in his like mid-30s or something like that, and you don't have much left going on with him. And their defense is still going to be, I would say, good. Not like they were last year because they did lose some pieces, but I still think they're going to be respectable. The team I see like going to be a real threat is the Broncos because they have like I would say a top defense. I would say it's between them and the Steelers right now as like the best defense in the NFL. And Bo Nix, it's like he fits in well with that system with Sean Payton. So, and plus they also upgraded their running back room too, which I think is going to be dynamic with R.J. Harvey and J.K. Dobbins. Yep.
Don't sleep on them.
Yep. So. I think that's going to be a threat. And then the Chargers, they added some more pieces in their wide receivers, and they're still great defensively. So out of these 3 teams, by default you would have to say the Chiefs, but I really want to pick the Broncos. I really want to pick the Broncos because they look like they're really good. And plus, I think they have an easier schedule than the Chiefs. Yeah. So, you know what? I'll go out on a limb. I'll say Broncos.
Let's go. This is the first one we disagree on. So, I got the Chiefs just because they're the Chiefs. They always find a way to win the division. But I do agree with Nick. This is going to be fun. And I think 3 teams make the playoffs out of this division. I think it's going to be the Chargers, Broncos, and Chiefs.
That's the way it was last year.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen again. And I think the Broncos are going to be right on the coattails of the Chiefs. Their defense is stellar. The only concern I have for the Broncos is that year 2 digression from Bo Nix. That happens a lot of times with quarterbacks. And Bo Nix had an incredible rookie year, so he might digress just a little bit. But he's a very intelligent quarterback, so that may not happen. So we shall see. We shall see. Mm-hmm. All right, are we in the NFC now?
We are in the NFC.
We're in the NFC. We're flying. We're keeping it going. All right. This one's a fun one because the Eagles are my team, and then I should say they're kind of my team. I'm from Philly, and then the Giants are Nick's team, so I get the NFC East. This one I think is easy. I think the Eagles win the division again, which is wild because I don't think a team has repeated in this division in 20 years or something like that. Something crazy.
It's been a while.
It's a ridiculous number, which is just wild. But I think this is the year that the Eagles do repeat and win the division again. Dallas Cowboys just have no clue what they're doing. Jerry Jones, I'm calling you out. You have no clue what you're doing. You need to stop being the GM of that team. Micah Parsons is the one player in this offseason that you should have just signed right away. He's in his prime. He's obviously putting up the numbers that you need to put up. You should have signed him, and now you're costing yourself a ton of money. Or the player. You might lose him. Commanders, I don't know what you guys are doing either. You're shooting yourselves in the foot. You have a win-now team. You just traded away Brian Robinson Jr., which is okay if you think that there's other running backs who are going to be good. But you got to sign Scary Terry. I have no clue what you guys are doing. He's a huge part of your team. Even Jaden Daniels is saying, hey, what are we doing? We got to sign this guy. So, and then the Giants, it's funny because they're quiet this offseason. So they might be sneaky because their defense is incredible. Their offense is not too good, though. So
see, the cow agrees.
Yeah, the cow even agrees, too. So, but the Giants might actually sneak up, and they're still not going to be able to touch the Eagles, but they might surprise people and not be the last-place team in this division. It might be the Cowboys. So that's what I got. I got Eagles winning this division. Nick, who do you got?
So one thing I will disagree with you on, I think Jerry Jones knows what he's doing. I think he wants this. Because what did Jerry Jones do last year with CeeDee Lamb? He did the same thing with CeeDee Lamb.
Still, you're not winning.
You're not winning.
Since the 90s, so you have no clue what you're doing.
But what are the Cowboys known for? Causing off-season drama. That's what they're known for. So I think he knows what he's doing there. But for this one, the reason why I can't pick the Giants is because their schedule is so tough. They have one of the toughest schedules in the NFL. And I've been listening to the New York sports radio show with some Giants fans are just so in the moment. They're like, oh, start Jackson Dart week 1. And I'm like, no, he's doing great in the preseason. But here's what I'll say about that is absolutely not. Because they keep comparing him to the guys like C.J. Stroud and Jaden Daniels who popped immediately when they came on the league. This is different because you signed Russell Wilson to a 1-year deal. Why on earth would you want to put Jackson Dart out there already with the first half of the season being some of the toughest games? Yeah. That would shatter his confidence and that would shatter everything of what Jackson Dart is building towards. Yeah. So I think the Giants are being smart about this. No, do not start Jackson Dart week 1. If you can, don't start him at all this season. Let him develop because he's got Russell Wilson. He has Jameis Winston right behind him. That's my Giants talk. But for this one, I would say the Eagles because there's for all the reasons that you said, the Cowboys, I think they're going to be great offensively, but defensively, they're in the bottom tier of defense. And then the Commanders, I think they overachieved last year with going to the NFC Championship game with the roster that they have. I think they just hit the Lions on a bad day. I think that's how they won that game. Yeah. But pretty much the Commanders, I can't see them going back to the NFC Championship game with the roster that they have. And then with the drama that they're causing, sure, they got Laramie Tunsil in the offseason, which is a huge pickup by them. But it's why aren't you signing Terry? It's I don't know why they're disrespecting Terry like that. He's been the most reliable, the most loyal, and their best receiver ever since he came onto that team. So I don't know why they're doing that. Yeah. And then the Giants, I can't pick. I think their Giants is going to be one of the top defensive teams, but offensively, it's they have such a tough schedule that it's going to be tough for me to pick them. But I can definitely see the Giants making some games interesting against tough teams. They're going against everybody in the AFC West, so that's tough right there. But I would say the Eagles, even though I'm a little worried about their receiving room right now, but I don't think it matters because Saquon's a beast and Jalen Hurts is still coming off of that MVP performance in the Super Bowl. So.
Who are you worried about in the receiver room?
The receiver room? Well, something happened with A.J. Brown, I believe. Didn't he get an injury or something, or was that Devonta Smith?
I think they're both fine.
They're both fine?
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe I'm thinking...
Nick's got to go back to the drawing board. So Johnny Wilson got hurt, but he's our 4th or 5th wide receiver, so he's out for the whole season.
And y'all got Mechie, I think?
Yeah, John Mechie. And here's the thing. This is a sleeper thing about Mechie. Sky Moore actually went to the 49ers. Oh. But Mechie going to the Eagles, he played with Jalen Hurts out of Alabama in college, so He's going to be a sneaky. I think he's going to be their wide receiver 3. That's who the Eagles have been looking for. Again, I'm from Philly, so got that inside scoop. So I think Mechie becomes their wide receiver 3 because Jahan Dotson, they tried out, and it just seemed like he didn't do much last year. So I think Mechie takes over there. So one last note. I think the Commanders, the only thing with Scary Terry, I think he's asking a little bit too much money. I think he wanted more than Metcalf got in Pittsburgh, which is
somewhere around that.
Yeah, and I think maybe a hair underneath because it's looking like other teams aren't even asking for they don't even want to pick him up at that asking price. He's 29 as well, so that makes it tough. So, all right, next one, NFC North. Nick, go ahead.
All right, another great division.
This is a fun one.
I'm getting all the best ones. So for the NFC, I think this is going to be like the toughest, if not the toughest division in the whole NFL, because you have like possibly 4 teams if everything pans out right for the Bears that could all make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So for this one, it is tough because the thing with the Vikings is how is J.J. McCarthy going to do? Yeah. That is the only question you have in terms of the Vikings. They upgraded their defense, so I think they're like a top 5 defense right now in the NFL. And basically, the only thing is how is J.J. McCarthy going to do? Now, Justin Jefferson has proved he can do it no matter who's the quarterback. Mm-hmm. So that's something, but he has a hamstring injury, and then Addison is suspended for 3 games. So they may have a bumpy road to start. But Kevin O'Connell, he won Coach of the Year for a reason. The guy can coach anybody. So I think
quarterbacks too.
Yes, exactly. So I think they'll be fine there. The Lions, they're going to be tough to dissect, even though I think they're still going to be great. Are they going to be great as they were last year? They won 15 games. So I don't think they're going to win that many games, and I don't think they're going to be putting up that much points that they did last season. So it's going to be tough for them. I still think they're going to do great. The question is how great. And then with the Packers, I think they're like that tier of the NFL where it's like I think they're a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense. So they're a well-rounded team. But can they compete with the likes of the Vikings and the Lions? And then the Bears, I like what they did in the offseason with signing Ben Johnson. I think he's going to help that defense. And plus, I think that was smart on the Bears because who used to be the OC for the Lions, Ben Johnson, he knows how to beat them. So I think that's very smart by them.
That's a good point.
So for this one, only because I don't know exactly on how J.J. McCarthy's going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and pick the Lions to win that division. But I will not be shocked if the Vikings win it.
Yeah. So, me and Nick are going to disagree on this one as well, but I liked what Nick said because the Vikings are such a wild card. I am not a J.J. McCarthy guy, but I am a Kevin O'Connell guy. He knows quarterbacks. So I'm going to trust him. And the Vikings probably have the most well-rounded team in that division. And the Detroit Lions lost a lot of coaches in the offseason. That hurts. The year the Eagles went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Chiefs, they lost their offensive and defensive coordinator the following year, and they plummeted. And I don't think the Lions will plummet, but I think that they will not be as good as the year prior, and I don't think they're going to win the division this year. I'm going to go Vikings because the Vikings, again, were very sneaky. They're a very, very solid football team. Even moves like picking up Jordan Mason as a running back behind Aaron Jones. If Aaron Jones just isn't producing because he's getting old, Mason is very good. So you got so much depth. Their defense has so much depth. They have a great coach. It's all up to J.J. McCarthy and if he can actually ball out or not. So I'm going with the Vikings winning that division. The Bears, I think, are in trouble because Caleb Williams I don't think he's got it as a quarterback. He's got some talent. I don't deny that. But I think it just mentally he's just not built to be a quarterback in the NFL.
And they have so many great offensive pieces,
They have
too.
so many. Even last year they did. And they blamed the offensive line a lot, but that man does not know how to get rid of the football. He just sits back there way too long and holds on to the football. So if Ben Johnson can get that out of him, they'll compete. But again,
because they have a really good defense, too.
Yeah, they're a solid football team, but it's up to Caleb Williams, and I just don't think he's got it. So. All right, NFC South. This one's a fun one, too, but I think it's a two-headed race. I think it's between the Bucs and the Falcons. I really like Michael Penix. I'm going to pick the Buccaneers, though. Even though they're injury-ridden already going into the season, Baker Mayfield's really got that team rocking and rolling. Mike Evans is still doing his thing. And Emeka Egbuka, what a draft pick. At first, I was like, what in the world are they doing? They got so many wide receivers on the depth chart that are incredible. But now you got Jalen McMillan, who might be out the whole year. He's getting a neck injury. That's not good. And it was a nasty fall if you guys saw that. And then Chris Godwin's just not ready yet. Tristan Wirfs is almost back, but he's out too. But once those two come back, you got a three-headed monster as wide receivers. Bucky Irving is a beast, and then Rashad White's not too bad either in the backfield, and their defense is solid. So I'm going to go Buccaneers, followed by the Falcons. And then the Panthers, I think, are going to be a shocking team this year. They're starting to get better. I like the picks that they've made.
Ted McMillan was a great one.
Great pick. I think he's going to be awesome. He makes he makes too many moves off the line, so he's gotta realize he's like 6'5" and just make that one move, box out the defensive back. You don't have to stutter. If you guys saw that in the first preseason game, just make that one cut and you'll be golden. And then the Saints, they might be the worst team in the NFL, so they're not even on the radar. So Nick, who do you got?
So for this one, yeah, I think it's going to be a two-headed race, like you said, but just for the reason where I think the Falcons sort of remind me of like the Bengals, where like they have all the pieces offensively, but defensively though they are so bad.
You think so?
Well, yeah,
they should draft the two defensive ends. I think
well,
that'll help.
Well, that's the thing is I think it'll help, but I don't think it's going to put them over the edge because I think there's going to be like tons of shootouts, and I don't know if the Falcons defense will be able to keep up with the offense. So I think it's just going to be they're going to be scoring a lot of points. For that one, I would have to say the Bucs because I think they're a more well-rounded team. They got the offensive pieces and they have the defense. And for any fantasy players out there, Mike Evans and Mbuka are going to be huge in the first games because with Godwin and McMillan being out, those guys are going to eat.
100%. All right, this last one we're going to fly through because we're at minute 21. Mm-hmm. All right, last one, NFC West. Nick, you got it. Go ahead.
All right, so for this one, going to be another fun division. And for this one, it's like I can see teams fighting not to be in last place, but for the first place team, I think for this one it's going to be the Rams. Yeah. I think the Rams are going to win this one. The Niners, I think they're going to be better than last year, specifically because they upgraded their offense, and I think if McCaffrey can come back to his form, which so far he's having a great camp, I think, and they also have one of the easiest schedules too. So I think they can definitely get back to form, possibly be a playoff team. I don't know about the division winner though. The Seahawks, they got Sam Darnold now, so we'll see how he does. And then with the Cardinals, they're still going to be the Cardinals. It's like they're always going to be like a little above mediocre, but not enough to put them over the edge because I don't know if Kyle Murray's going to be like the real deal for them. Mm-hmm. Which it's like he's a great fantasy quarterback, but an NFL quarterback, I don't know as much. So for this one, I would say the Rams. And I also like what they did adding Devontae Adams.
Yeah, Kyler Murray really took a step back after he shredded his ACL. I mean, people were talking about him being potential MVP, and he was balling out. I remember the one season I think they started out 9-0 or something like that, and then they just kind of fell apart. So, but for me, I got the Rams. Their coaching staff is incredible. As long as Matthew Stafford stays healthy, that's the big question mark. Obviously, back injuries in the preseason or training camp, I should say. But I got Rams. I trust that coaching staff, and that team is legit. So I'm going Rams. All right, to end out this video, we're doing Super Bowl predictions, who we think are going to the Super Bowl and who we think are going to win. I'll start. There's Penny again. Doing that thing, just barking at us. All right, I got the Eagles. It's going to be a Birds Super Bowl. I got the Eagles versus the Ravens, and I got the Eagles going back-to-back. Depth is so important in the NFL, and I think the Eagles are the deepest team. They rewarded their players that they needed to reward. Their offensive line is still incredible. Their defensive line is still incredible. I think they have all the pieces. And I like their mindset going into this season. They said, we don't even think about last year anymore. It's all about this new season. So I got Eagles. Nick, who do you got?
For this one, you stole my pick with the Ravens and the Eagles. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pick something new. The teams that I could see other than those teams, I would say the Bills and the Lions.
Bills and Lions.
Because have you seen their logo this year? It's a bunch of different colors. But it's mostly blue. Mostly blue. Who are the blue teams? Yeah. Lions and Bills. So it's like, I hate to be that guy, but just look at the logo.
Let's go. Let's go. So. But guys, thank you so much for checking this video out. If you want to see more NFL videos, again, we're going to start a new YouTube channel. It will be connected to this one, so we'll be advertising, but with the algorithms and things of that nature. Plus, we just want to bless other people that we truly love. We're gonna transition these NFL videos to a full-time page that is associated with just the NFL and football and fantasy football and things of that nature. So, God bless you. Catch you on the next video.